Welcome to the Vibe Show 97.9. Man, we are back in full effect. Super excited about tonight's guest tonight. Listen, I got to give a shout out, man, to all those teams that won and prayers up for the ones that's joining me on the sofa with my Cowboys. Hey man, it's all good to be like that sometimes, you know what I mean? But I am really enjoying the sofa's really packed right now. So I'm super excited. Listen, man, y'all make sure y'all got your popcorn ready. Make sure you got whatever you're sipping on ready. We got amazing guests joining us tonight on the show. Y'all make sure y'all keep it locked in. It is the Vibe Show. Let's go. Ooh. Vibe Show, we back. It's going down real official. Told y'all I had something real special for y'all tonight, and it's about to go down. I'm talking about entrepreneur, CEO, and founder of Live Limitless Media Group, also Limitless Cares Foundation. I'm telling you, it's going down. I'm super excited. I'm talking about the one and only Sierra Rainge.
What's up? What's up? What's up? I am
What
so
is going
excited.
on? What's going on? Now, I'm looking at some technical difficulties here. Now, I got you to the side. I don't know if
I
you
was wondering why it was showing up like this. Let's see.
There we go. There
All
we
right.
go. Right there. How are you? How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. Happy New Year, everybody. We starting out this 2026,
Absolutely.
with a lot of hope, a lot of faith, a lot of tenacity, a lot of focus for the future. So I'm feeling really good. What about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Like I was saying earlier, watched a couple of teams go down that had a lot of they really felt like they were there. So, this weekend was really good for me. I was pleased just sitting there watching them go down, man. I'm just excited. But other than that, I had this big interview coming up, and hey, life's great right now. I'll tell you that.
I love it. Life is great.
So much to get into, though, concerning you. So much to get into. So many amazing things that you have going on. I would like to start off, though, with a little bit of your background. I want to get my listeners and my fans to just understand how we get to this journey that you on, this amazing journey.
All right, that's a really great question. So I'm gonna try to make this the condensed version. So welcome or hello everybody. My name is Tierra Range. I'm the proud CEO of Live Limitless Media Group. My company is a full service book and brand incubator. I help leaders, entrepreneurs, celebrities turn their personal stories into book and brand assets. Funny thing is, I started out in law enforcement. I did juvenile
What?
corrections and then adult corrections for a little bit. And I just knew that this is just not the best that I could do. I was not fulfilled. It was great money. It was obviously a great career, but I just always knew there was more in me. And I had already written a book. And so during that time, I was working corrections and I was still doing my business on the side. And then I got pregnant while I was working. I remember I was overseeing this guy, Markeith Lord, at the time. They had me like 6 months pregnant watching the serial killer unit. And I'm sitting there
What?
and I'm just like, you know what, this ain't it for me. And I was working the overnight shift. I'm like, you know what, this isn't it. And so I began to write out my exit strategy. And so when I was in the prison or in the jail, I would just kind of plan out my Dare to Dream conference. And as I was building out that conference, it was a personal exclamation to myself to dare to dream bigger. And that requires taking bold steps in the direction of your dreams, despite your circumstances. I've also come from a low socioeconomic environment here in West Orlando. I tell people often, like, I lived in every hood you can think of in West Orlando because we were on Section 8. And so we lived in South Apopka, we lived across town, we lived Rosemont, Lake West. And if you're from Central Florida, and you already know what that means. And so because of that background and because we moved around a lot, I learned the power of community and being a voice for the community that drives change. And so I've always carried that passion with me to drive change in the community that I love. And that was the basis from where our nonprofit Limitless Cares was founded, with that mission to disrupt generational poverty. Um, After walking away from law enforcement and launching my business full time, I've been doing this now full time almost 9 years, where I've been focused on helping authors to write books, publish their books. And we ended up transitioning into ghostwriting. And now we've also expanded into strategic brand partnerships, because once we've
Mm,
been able to help our authors craft these amazing stories, we use those books to then launch influential brands, and then we take those brands and build a revenue wheel. So now the book becomes a brand and the brand becomes a business. And
mm,
then we continue to create business around the book, around the message, monetizing it by then structuring strategic partnerships for mostly our celebrity clients. And so it's been just this whirlwind of opportunities that have presented themselves. And I would say these aren't things that I've necessarily planned. I've just
right.
been bold enough to move my feet, and I truly believe that God has been ordering my steps. If you ask me what I wanted to be when I was a little girl, I wanted to be like Jason Bourne. I wanted to be like a super CIA agent.
Right.
That's what I wanted to do. So becoming a celebrity ghostwriter and um, just a, I would say, a sought after person in media and communications, it's beyond a dream come true. It's a vision realized. And so I've just been super excited. And then we're also launching our new TV show right here in the city, beautiful, Limitless Talks with
Seen
Sierra
that.
Range. So I'm super excited about that. So I would say my dream has continued to expand as my vision for possibility has also evolved.
Wow. Now, you know what? I got to clap it up on that. We got to clap it up on that. That's amazing. Now,
Thank you.
I want to ask you this though, because that's a lot. That's a lot packaged in. Now, I gotta roll it back a little bit though, because you know the transition though, stepping up to the edge and just saying, you know what, I'm getting ready to follow my passion, and the thing that I'm passionate about full time. Because, you know, I want people to understand that, you know, walking into the entrepreneurial space,
Mhm.
it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. You know, we all have these dreams, we all have these visions of what we want to do, you know, but at the same time, walking away from, you know, the corporate world and you know, knowing we got that guaranteed check coming in or whatever, and it's just all off your back at that point. Talk to me a little bit about that transition so people can kind of tap in and
Right.
understand an entrepreneurial mindset and taking that leap of faith saying, hey, you know what, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because that's such a pivotal point. Because I think on social media, people begin to just like glamorize this whole entrepreneurship
Hmm.
movement without
Hmm.
understanding that there's a weight that comes with that,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So I would say beyond obviously having a mindset for entrepreneurship, which is also just being a visionary, being able to foresee a solution to a problem or being able to move with passion, beyond having the right mindset, I would say just having the right heart set and the right like energy signature. Like you gotta have that dog in you to be entrepreneurs, especially in this particular climate, because Entrepreneurship is a personal development journey. It will test everything that you know to be true about yourself. It will test every limit. It will test your capacity to resolve conflict. It will test your capacity to pivot. It will test your capacity to manage and sustain healthy relationships. It will test your capacity to remain disciplined when you're in a season that is not fruitful. It will test your capacity to withstand seasons of failure with the hope for a future that's going to be prosperous. It will test
Mm,
your ability to stand in the paint when the vision that you believe in and hope for is so far off. It will test your capacity to continue on when the distance between where you are and where you want to be seems too far away. It will test your
right.
capacity to keep going when you have more months than you have money. Like, it will test your capacity to push through when everything's falling apart. Like, you really just got to have that dog and you have to be able to believe in something so passionately, have such unrelenting faith that you don't see anything else besides this vision. And so if you get into this just to make money, you say, oh my gosh, and I hate these online trends, just like, oh, run the play.
Mhm.
You can do this and make money. You can do this and make money. If you're pursuing it for money, you will not last. Only things that you do with the kingdom mindset is going to last when you're able to connect what you're pursuing with something that's bigger than you.
Mm,
At the foundation of what I do is like, live limitless is not just the name of my business. It's my personal mantra. It's my personal success philosophy. It's my heart set. It's what I truly, truly, truly believe. As a little Black girl from West Orlando who's been able to navigate poverty and sit in spaces with billionaires, sit at tables with billionaires, connect and build partnership with multi-million dollar companies, because I've been able to see and because I've been able to be in both spaces, there is there's just a power, there's a passion to truly help other people to understand the power of pushing through. So when I say live limitless, I'm not,
mhm.
I mean that. I mean to truly live a life that pushes past every perceived limit. Like, when I was growing up, when I tell y'all, I'm talking about, like, when I say low socioeconomic environment, I know that's a fancy word and it sounds cute, but I grew up in a home where my uncles were all struggling with mental health and
Mhm.
crack addictions, right? Like, this was my real childhood. And the reason why I'm able to look like this and be like this and talk like this and show up so whole is because, number one, I had a vision for my life beyond my circumstances. Even
Mhm.
as a little girl, like, I just always believed that life could be different for me.
Right.
I always believed that I could be the first one, first generation college graduate, first generation everything. And I was always okay with being peculiar and set apart because I believed in a vision that I couldn't even touch yet, even as a little girl. And so that's
Wow.
when I say entrepreneurship is about having a vision for your life, for your community, for generations to come, for your bloodline. It's not about, like, oh, I want to put on a blazer and cross my arms in a photo shoot. It's so much bigger than that.
Wow. You know, that's dope. That's dope. I'm not even gonna lie. And it kind of sums up that whole definition of limitless. I was gonna ask you about
Mhm.
that, but you just broke it all down right there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, so, and I'm really, really impressed with that, and it does take a lot, to be able to be in that type of environment and
Mhm.
still see beyond the trees. I want more
Mhm.
than this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's all motivation, when you look at it. And I know we all suffer from poverty situations, rough upbringings and all
Mhm.
different types of things like that. And it's dope that you said that because a lot of people don't really bundle it up as motivation. They kind of get
Mhm.
sponged into it. You know what I mean? So that's you're basically a walking testimony. And I think I really feel like that's something that you should always share,
Yeah.
always, because people just see that outer. They see that outer. They see the glam. Oh man, she doing it, man. People get wrapped up in that. But I think that it's
Mhm.
really, really dope and amazing that you're still sharing that
Yeah.
story. So people can understand. Like, no, when I say I understand and I feel you, like, no, I come from that. Don't get
Right.
caught up in all of this stuff that the grind and what you see.
Yeah.
It's basically like movies. You know what I mean? Like we see the trailers and stuff like that, and everything just looks amazing. But
Mhm.
we don't really get a chance to really kind of see the hard work that goes in behind it, or the
Mhm.
path that these people came from. That's why I love documentaries and stuff like that, because it's good to go and do your homework and always be a student of everything,
Mhm.
because every people didn't just get there. It's always going to look good on the screen, and always you see the stuff on social media and all that stuff like that, but people really be going through it, and come from poverty backgrounds and come from a hard life, but
Mhm.
those that self motivation. I
Yeah.
love that. Self motivate, you're self driven. I really 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 love that, Sierra. That's dope.
That's
That's
good.
really
I can honestly say too, like I do consider myself to be an obviously like a very ambitious person. But if
hmm
I'm being completely honest, I would say if I can just paint a picture, it's just like there's somebody else in the driver's seat. Like I'm just a passenger. It's
right.
like something is driving me, like something is pulling me. And I always consider that to be purpose or the Holy Spirit that's just driving me to a destination. I'm just willing to take the ride. I'm
Right.
willing to take the ride. And, like I always say, God orders my steps, but I've been brave enough to continue to move my feet because I do operate with a level of fearlessness. Like
Mhm.
I'm not afraid to do it. Like
Right.
I ain't afraid to try. I'm not afraid to fail. I'm not afraid to fall on my face. I'm not afraid to step out by myself. Like
hmm
I've never been afraid. And I think that has truly served me on this journey for sure.
Right. I gotta ask you this too, because balancing though, you are a mother,
Hmm.
and a boss. At the same time, though, talk to me about balancing it all, though, because at the same time, it's a lot that goes into your day to day, and
Hmm.
still being able to be a boss, run, a multi-million dollar company. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And at the same time, still be able to balance that family life. Talk to
Yeah,
me a little bit about that.
absolutely. And I love how you said multi-million dollar company because I'm not there yet, but baby, I am coming from your mouth
You
to
look
God's
like me.
ears.
That's what I'm already saying it already. We claiming it already.
I love that. So that's a really great question too. And that's what I tell people often. Balance is an illusion, just like perfection. It's just really impossible. I don't believe in balance because it has not served me, but I
Mhm.
believe more so in harmony, creating a life that's harmonious. And so that has always worked so much better for me because I am the mother of three children. I have three amazing daughters. I have a 17-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, and I have an 8-year-old. And so in order to show up in a way that's effective as a mom, as a leader in my organization, as a community leader, to show up for my clients, what I try to do is give 100% of myself to whatever situation I'm in. So if I'm at home and I'm in mommy mode, I'm 100% in mommy mode. My phone is on do not disturb. I try to put my phone away and I try to be 100% engaged when I'm in mommy mode. But when I'm in work mode, I'm at the office, I give myself 100% of myself in work mode. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so
Right.
trying to balance it, that just didn't work for me. I just found what creates more harmony in my life, what makes me feel better. And I found that instead of segmenting myself in so many pieces, I wasn't as effective. I
Right.
experienced burnout a lot more because I had all these different tabs open at one time. But when I began to like really set boundaries and manage my energy,
hmm
so we talk about managing our time and managing our budget, but our energy is also currency. How we spend our
Right.
energy is also currency. Like there's cash, but then but cash is not our only form of currency. And so
hmm
just learning how to create harmony around my time. So again, if I'm home and I'm in mommy mode, I'm all in mommy mode. I am listening to them sing the same song a million times. I'm listening to the stories about Samantha skipped in this line and she's not friends with Samantha this week anymore. I'm listening to boyfriend stuff. I'm listening to band stuff, but I try to give myself 100% in that moment.
I
But they
love
already know when mommy's at work. My kids respect it. They give me time. They see me on the phone, they'll walk past like the little church finger, like, oh, mommy's on the call.
it.
Because they
Right.
know I like to go all in because I like to be effective. And when this call is over, I'm gonna toss this sweater to the side and I'm gonna hang out with my brother. He's here now. We're gonna watch the game. And so just learning how to completely be present has not only helped me to create harmony in my life, but it's brought me just more peace and fulfillment in my life as well. Because when I'm here with you right now, I get to be all in right now. There's no
Right.
distractions. I'm just present, all in right now. I get to show up as my best self. And when this is done, I'm probably gonna come over here and talk trash to my brother and bully him for a little bit. And I'm gonna be all in over there. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
Balance never served me. It just made me feel burnt out.
Right.
That, just creating harmony, and everybody gets to decide what that looks like for them.
Right. I love that. I love that. Vibe show, man. We just in here vibing out with the one and only Sierra Range, man. We got to pay some bills. Y'all already know how this is, man. Y'all make sure y'all keep it locked in and stay tuned. We'll be back with more Sierra Range. It's the Vibe Show. Ooh.
Indelible. Sit if you dare to indulge in the unforgettable. Sip if you have the audacity to make a statement. Sip if you aspire to leave a lasting impression. Sip a wine that raises a glass to you. Indelible by Adina Howard. Salute.
Vibe show. We are back in full effect. Shout out to the one and only Adina Howard, man. Really good friend of mine, man. Just now, I gotta run something here, because I'm really done some research on Limitless Care Foundation, and it's amazing things you guys are doing there. Y'all, I want y'all to check this out, man. Check this out. Y'all keep it locked.
Come on, three. Be it. Be it. It's that crazy, it's that Diane. Young and dreaming. We young and dreaming. Young and dreaming. Young and dreaming. It's that crazy, it's that Diane.
Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of love. We had a lot of connection. And even in the midst of what most would call dysfunction, there were some pivotal lessons that I learned in the thick of not only my struggle, but my family's struggle. When I think back and I consider all the people who this story is very familiar to. And so our goal with the Limitless Cares Foundation is to be a resource for capital for organizations here in the community that are serving underrepresented groups. Our ultimate goal is to disrupt generational poverty and all the social, economic constructs that contribute to poverty and oppression.
I love that. The Limitless Care Foundation. We definitely going to get Sierra to talk to us about that when we get her back in here. And there she goes. Talk to me about that, though. Where did the whole vision for the Limitless Care Foundation come from? I mean, I just really think that that's super dope. And I've done the research and know, but I want to hear it, my fans to hear it from you.
Yeah, so Limitless Cares, that's our 501c3. It was birthed during the 2020 COVID pandemic, where so many people in our community were facing food insecurities because obviously of the pandemic. And so I believe in a community collective approach. So instead of just going out and trying to just build something brand new on my own, I decided to connect with a bunch of other grassroots initiatives that were already doing the work that I already believed in. And so I established 5 different pillars within the community that I wanted to serve based on the pathology of poverty. Again, our mission is to disrupt generational poverty. So resources for mental health, um, supporting food insecurities in our community, and just a bunch of other things that really undergird the pathology of poverty. And so we connected with a bunch of other organizations who were already doing the work, and we began to join forces with them. To date, we've been able to serve over 4 million meals to people in need right here in the Pine Hills community, which is one of the communities I grew up in here in West Orlando. And again, that was a community approach where we were able to partner with Second Harvest Food Bank, and a bunch of other different organizations who were able to show up, and we were able to, and the reason why we did a community approach, because it allowed us to all bring our resources together, and to serve the same community that we all loved and wanted to see grow. So that's
Right.
pretty much it. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Is that a annual thing that's happening, or are we doing that annually?
Mhm. So it hasn't been annual. I've actually need to get back to work. And so what I try to do, because we also have a proclamation here in the city where we have Limitless Cares Day, August 16th here in Orlando. And so I try to do at least one community activation a year in order to not just maintain our proclamation, but to show up and serve. And so we activate based on obviously how much money we're able to pull from the actual for profit. So about
Um,
10% of our revenue we put back into our community, kind of like tithing to the community. So this year, I really want to focus on mental health and recovery, because I feel like so many people, we are a group of people, we are super talented. Like we know how to hustle, like we know how to create, but
right.
it's really, really hard to create in spaces where our hearts and our minds are still in crises. And so I wanted to be able to bring some mental health resources to our community, because poverty is traumatic. Like if we're being completely honest, poverty is traumatic. And so again, this year, beyond food insecurities, which we'll continue to work on, I also wanted to bring in some mental health resources to the community.
Right. I love that. Let me ask you this from a cultural standpoint, with our melanated people. I want to ask you this, just from your journey, your path, in the business, creating a business, being in it now for quite some time. Um, some of the things that you may have ran into as far as difficulties with us being able to work together. I just want to get your thought on that,
Mhm,
because it's a real thing, and it bothers me in a lot of ways,
mhm,
that it's because the power that we have when we all unify and can actually come together. I mean, we got so many successful people on the planet right now that we've all been blessed to become successful in our own rights, but it just seems like it's hard and difficult for us to just
mhm,
pull together, unify, and work
mhm,
together to become even more powerful. I just want to get
mhm.
your thoughts on that.
That's a really great point. And I don't believe that it's all of us, but it's a lot of us, because at certain levels, we're connecting and growing together. But
Mm.
when it comes to the majority of us, and we hear people say like that crab in the bucket mentality, and I like to always challenge that perspective, because if we consider a crab's natural habitat, it's not in a bucket. A crab's
Mm.
natural habitat is in the ocean, where it can run one route and be free, and it has access to all the resources that it needs to sustain its life. But when the crab is placed into a bucket, you've now placed that crab into survival mode. And
Talk
so
to me.
perhaps the
Yeah.
crab is not trying to pull its fellow crab down, but it's trying to connect because it wants to survive too. So when we challenge that notion that the crabs in the bucket are just trying to pull each other down, I'd like to take it a step further and say, well, the crabs, we're not supposed to be in the bucket. We're supposed to be in the ocean where we have access to what we need. But when we've been placed in survival, we're not trying to pull one another down. That's just a byproduct of trying to connect to people who are also struggling, who are hanging on by a thread. And so as we're trying
Ooh.
to connect to get out, we in turn pull each other down. We ain't supposed to be in the bucket anyway. And so what I like to say is, when it comes to us,
Uh-oh. We got some technical difficulties, guys. Y'all make sure y'all stay locked in. I'm pretty sure she's gonna get back online. We're gonna go to a commercial break. We'll go to another commercial break. Y'all keep it locked in. It's the Vibe Show 97.9.
It's the Vibe Queen from the Vibe Show 97.9 FM. Listen, if you haven't checked out the station yet, I don't know what happened. Make sure you head to www.thevibeshow979.net. www.thevibeshow979.net. We play the very, very best and not less of industry and independent artist music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you want top tier promotional services on all levels, we are your one-stop shop for all your promotional needs. Once again, make sure you head over to the station at www.thevibeshow979.net, www.thevibeshow979.net. Check out the service deck, and if you have any questions or queries, feel free to hit me up at sjthevibeshow97.9fm at gmail.com, sjthevibeshow97.9fm at gmail.com.
And we're back.
I don't know. I think the problem, guys, I apologize. I think everybody's watching this Miami game, and it's causing the Wi-Fi to kind of be dysregulated. So I apologize.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But that point you were just making was really, really interesting, because I don't think I've ever heard anybody break it down like that, though. You know, it's kind of stays where it is with the crabs in the barrel type thing or whatever. But you just broke something down. That was dope. That was dope. I didn't look at it like that at all. At all. That is true.
Yes, because we're just trying to make it. Like we just you see someone elevating and you're also trying to survive. The first thing you do is latch on, right? And so when I think about issues that impact our abilities to stay connected, we look at, some of these other communities like the Jewish community, they have their history is a little bit different, although they've also navigated a lot of trauma within, their community as well. Their history has been different. And so for us, I would say just on a personal and current level, it's learning how to manage conflict. One thing I see with us is like one little thing goes wrong, we ready to fall out.
Right.
We get on social media, we selling each other out. Like we're so combative, right? And I tell people all the time, like a hard conversation does not have to be an argument or a fallout. It's conflict resolution. Like it's emotional intelligence, being able to say, hey, I want to realign on our business deliverables. It looks like some of our values may have changed. Some of our goals may have changed. Let's connect to realign on some of our goals instead of, they tried me. No, this ain't working out. Like we got to do better. And it comes from being able, it comes from healing. It really comes from just healing and evolving emotionally and mentally and even spiritually, just learning how to manage conflict resolution, because sometimes we fall out prematurely and don't even realize that person was the golden link to our next connection, to our next resource, because we don't value connection the way that we need to. Not realizing that every single person is a golden link in connection, helping us get to our next goal. But if we're too busy falling out with everybody and we're not connected, how can we move forward? Because we're too busy falling out, not realizing that the more we stay connected, relationships don't have to end. They can genuinely just evolve. Like I like to say, relationships is the great game of repositioning, right? So some relationships, they change over time. But if we got to just learn how to be able to really sustain the right relationships. Now, some people, it requires, depending on what season we're in, it may require us to move people around a little bit. Like, you know what? I'm in the season that I'm in. I need my top 5 to be people who can cheer for me, people who can hold me accountable, maybe even people that know how to pray for me, maybe even people who can help me, focus on being a better mom, people that can help me understand my finances. So being aware and being able to submit to the season that you're in, it helps you to identify who needs to be in your top 5 lineup, right? And then you got people that's in the bleachers, you got people that's in the cheer stand, and you just move people around based on where you are. But if we're too busy falling out with everybody, we're not able to stay connected long enough to get further ahead. Because again, every relationship is a link. It's a golden link helping us get further to our purpose.
Now, let me ask you this, being that you said that, and we on the topic, Um, do you feel like social media is playing a pivotal role in the destruction of it? Because I mean, to me, I feel like it's a gift and a curse. But now I'm starting to see a flux and more of people using social media, as a talking point, as an expression point, being, talking to social media as if people really care. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, do you feel like um, it's like, how can I word this? I don't want to sound harsh, but do you feel like it's poisoning us in a way? Because I mean, it's a great tool. It's great, for people that's got businesses. But I see a lot of people talking, and you can kind of like differentiate it now to the point to where when somebody going through a hardship in a relationship, when somebody's, I mean, everybody's just putting their business out there. It's like, what is still for self? Like, are we keeping anything for ourselves? Is anything private anymore? Somebody may be going through suffering in the hospital or whatever. I mean, that's a private moment. Like, it's not, I don't feel like it's for everybody. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that?
I would say we've for sure become desensitized with social media. Like even some of the things we post, it's just like, have we lost our desire to keep certain things
Right,
sacred? And in a generation that has become like this wave of digital revolution, right? We
right.
have so much access to everyone's lives, but as our access has increased, connection has decreased. So we're in a
Mm,
digital age where we have so much access and yet we are so disconnected. This generation is the most depressed they've ever been. They're the most anxious they've ever been. They're the most drug addicted that they've ever been. And this is in the age of digital renaissance where we have all the access and it's creating a decline in our mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And so that alone lets you know that we were never meant to have this much access to other people's
right.
lives because
Wow.
it creates this world of constant comparison because you're
Right.
scrolling. We were never meant to see all everyone's lives because you're scrolling, and you just have this visual of what other someone else's life is. And even if you're extremely careful, you're still going to find yourself fall into that trap of comparison.
Right.
And so we lose self-fulfillment, right? And
Right.
then anytime that you are so focused on where you want to be and not where you are, presence is the only thing that gives us peace. When we start to think too far ahead of where I want to be without being grounded in where we are, it creates anxiety. When we start thinking about too far in the past and what we did wrong, and that creates depression. And so we have to learn how to be present and how to safeguard. Like my grandmother would always say, watch your ear gates, your eye gates, and your ear gates, what you're listening to and what you're seeing, because it's the window to the soul. And so just being, as churchy as it sounds, it's real and it works. Being careful about what you give access to, what you allow to enter in, and just really safeguarding that. And I feel that we have become so content focused that
Mm,
we've lost our core values.
right. Right. And let me ask you this, because it is a deep subject. Um, I want to ask you this, like from a woman's standpoint. Just viewing, and I know, you're on there, but you're not spending a lot of time on there. I mean, you got different things that you have going on, but at the same time, do you think that it's shaping the way that the perception of what women think now? Because it's like, I just see so much stuff because I am on there. I am promoting my business and we're doing, so much online, and you see so much stuff that's kind of, dissatisfying, and because I just feel like it's a form of women and men feeling like, you're not comfortable in your own skin anymore. It's like, you got to personify a certain type of thing, online to everybody. And instead of, it's like we've gotten so far away from originality and just being
Yes.
comfortable with just being yourself. How do you feel about that?
I agree wholeheartedly. I feel like we have lost our ability to be genuinely authentic because we become agents of the algorithm. And
Dang.
so if this is what's going to get me, we're so focused on becoming viral that we really lost our passion to be effective. And if you notice, it's the silliest things that go viral. The silliest people are getting attention because the
Yes.
corporations, they only care about what's going to drive revenue for them. And they
Right.
understand the value of our energy and the value of our attention. That's why people spend so much money on advertisements, because it's like, who can hold the attention longer? So if as a culture, we are starting to focus more on low vibrational content, the corporations don't care. If this is what's going to gauge your intention, this is going to be the agent that we're going to use to keep the algorithm, to keep you connected to this algorithm. And so I think as a group of people, we have to elevate our appetite for what we consume. We have to demand that we want better. We got to take our attention off of the drugs, the music that glorifies gang violence, the music that glorifies addiction. Our young people are literally dying and begging for help. Our young people are so depressed, they're so drug addicted, and they've normalized addiction.
Right.
We have to just be more focused on future outcomes, but we're
Right.
so focused on the money.
Right.
Because if you notice right now, while so many different industries are experiencing transition, which happens, right? There's a transfer of wealth, there's a changing of guards, if you will, if we're speaking on a global level. And so many different industries are transitioning, just like in the 1920s after the 1918 Spanish flu, we went through the Great Depression, and then everyone who was a part of the Industrial Revolution, those industries became multimillionaires. So
Right.
anything that was connected to oil, steel, cars, Ford Motors, like anything connected to that, they became rich because that's where our culture was going. And that's
Right.
also in the 1920s, which was the roaring 20s, which was the emergence of the celebrity. That's when people were so focused on celebrity, right? And
Right.
so now it's this focus on attention. So what we're seeing now is this digital renaissance. And if you notice, as all these different industries are transitioning, content has become king.
Right.
AI has become emperor, right? And so it makes you think, if all these other industries are pulling back and having economic downturn, why is it that TikTok is still cutting checks? Meta is still cutting checks, and
Right.
it's pushing everybody on these social platforms. And you are incentivized to be raw, to be authentic. Like on TikTok, they don't like curated content over there because they tend to push content that is more raw, unproduced, because they want to hear how you really talk, how you really think. Let us see your background, because they are using that information to feed their technology, to train their robots on how to become more human-like. We
Mm.
have to look at the bigger picture of what's happening in our world. We're not seeing it.
Wow.
We're not seeing it.
Man. Look, look, we could go on and on and on with that right there. I'm talking about that is deep, man. Major gems being dropped right there. I do want to tap in as we're closing up. I want to talk about some exciting news, the Limitless Talk TV show. I definitely want you to tap in on that a little bit and let us know when we can expect to see that launch on that.
Yes. I need you guys to all tap in and support. I'm super excited. So this is one of the things I'm super excited about. I've been able to write over 100 books and help platform over 100 authors and tell some really amazing stories. But I'm now able to bring those same stories to TV. I'm all independent. I have a few distribution deals on the table, but I believe in being independent because it gives me more equity, more ownership, and more opportunity to serve in ways that I want to serve. I am going to be connecting with a lot of my clients who, of course, are celebrities, entertainers, leaders, and different businesses across multiple industries. And we're going to be having real conversations about what it looks like to achieve success at every level, because
Mm.
success looks different depending on what level you're on. And I really want to just talk about the real behind the highlight reel, right? So the real behind the highlight reel. What does
Right.
it really take? Because what people don't see is, like, I look good right now, but last week I was on my knees praying and fasting for 3 days because I needed to hear from God. I needed to call out some revenue streams. I needed to speak and declare that resources would be released from the north, the south, the east, and the west. I needed to pray for discernment, to ask God, And when I go into this next season, who am I going into this next season with? Who are the partners that truly align with where I'm trying to go?
Right.
What message do you want me to share? Because you've given me influence, but what is it that you want me to influence people to do? You've
Right.
positioned me in a place of leadership, but where do you want me to lead people? I didn't want to go into this just to make it look cute and look fancy. We have enough podcasts. I would really be happy if they stopped selling podcast equipment at this point. We have so many podcasts. Everybody's online with something to say, but nobody's saying
Oh,
anything that's going to drive real change. And I
right.
want it to be effective. And so I'm
Right.
having real conversations about what it really, really takes to achieve success. And I'm also challenging the way that we define success because it's
Mhm.
not always the Rolls Royce, right? And so I would say you judge a tree by the fruit that it carries, right? And
Right.
so I want to challenge our listeners to consider the fruit. What
Ooh.
is the fruit in your life? Because you can have a Rolls Royce and you can live in a mansion, but if you're miserable, dysregulated, broken, and depressed, is that truly success?
Mm.
Is that truly success? And so I want to challenge what success looks like. I want to challenge the power of community contribution when we leap and we climb and we also reach back so that the crowd that's trying to connect to us is not pulling us down because we've become anchored. We've been able to latch on to solid foundation so we can just reach back and pull the next person up. They
Uh,
don't have to pull us down. It's focusing on a collaborative vision, survival of the community. How do we heal? How do we grow? And most importantly, how do we thrive?
wow.
You got to start having conversations about financial management. I'm
Yes.
still learning. There's
Yes.
so many things that I'm having to learn and unlearn as I'm learning how to navigate and manage success on this level. I have to change
Yes.
my relationship with money. And another thing that I've had to learn is how to expand my capacity to receive good things. Because when you've come from such low socioeconomic environments, you learn how to be satisfied with a little bit. And while that has helped me to navigate from the bottom to certain levels, it won't serve me here because in order to go from making $200,000 and $300,000 to making $1 million and $5 million and $10 million, I have to expand my capacity to receive goodness. Because if you become so comfortable with receiving crumbs, you'll never pursue the whole pie because
Yeah.
you've been so satisfied with just a little bit. And so just having to expand my capacity to receive good things, how to break through my upper level, how
Wow.
to operate in my genius zone,
Right.
where I'm making the most impact, I'm being the most effective with the least amount of effort. That means I'm operating in my gift.
Right. Right. And that's so real. That's so real because when we do, when we do reach that level of success, like you said, we have to be prepared mentally and be
Mhm,
able to handle that. You know
mhm,
what I mean? Like, so I definitely agree with you wholeheartedly on that. And it is a process. It is a
mhm.
process. It's a daily process, you know. I love that. I really, really love that.
Yes, I'm excited. So on the show, these are the type of conversations. I'm asking the real questions. Like, how did you go from 500,000 to a million? What were some of the lessons that you had to learn? How did you recover from public scrutiny? How did you recover from whatever? Like, tell me how you got there. Because we
Right.
become so glamorized with the final destination when it's the process where all the gems are. So I'm super excited about the show. I'm super excited to be able to connect with you today and share with your audience. I hope that something I said was able to resonate. I hope that something I said was able to share light. I pray that you guys will continue to focus on your vision and to not just focus on your vision, but I challenge you guys to abandon your dream to adopt the plan that God has for you, because there's a different level of flow when we're pursuing what we want and then when we align with what God had in mind when he created us.
Wow. Absolutely. Let's put those social media handles out there, and also ways that anybody that's trying to work with you or inquire to do some business with you or whatever, let's put all that information out there, and also shout out your team, anybody that you want to shout out, family, kids, whoever. Let's do that.
Mhm. Love it. So shout out to my three beautiful brown girls, Danae, Demi, and Dream Jones, who are my greatest accomplishment on earth so far, because I've been able to raise very healthy and happy, intelligent little girls who don't have to recover from any type of childhood trauma. They may be small to some, but it means everything to me. So shout out to my girls. Shout out to my team, the people who support me. Shout out to all of my clients who've ever invested in Live Limitless by trusting me to help them achieve their book and brand goals. You guys can reach me at Sierra Range on all things social. You guys, I manage my account. I'm not the girl that's on social media every day, but if you send me a DM, I will check it. I'm out here in the real world connecting, because that's where I choose to spend my energy, outside of social media. So I may post here and there, but I'm not the girl posting every day. But I do check my DM. So send me a DM if you want to connect. You can also visit livelimitlessmedia.com, where we have a beautiful website where you guys can see our portfolio, some of the amazing people that we've been able to work with. You can also submit to be on our TV show there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Shout out Orlando. I'm super excited. We have so many great things happening in Orlando this year. We have Rolling Loud coming here. We have the Ulta Beauty event coming here. And I'm going to be creating different pop-up events surrounding those events. So if you guys are coming into town, check me out. I'm curating a bunch of different events that are going to help us to challenge our mindsets, grow, evolve, and live limitless.
Absolutely. Listen, everybody, y'all heard it right here. And also too, definitely keep us in the loop of what you have going on. If we need to come out there, definitely let us know. We have planted a seed and we must water it and allow it to grow. We have to continue to unify. It's power in numbers. We all trying to head to the same place, financial freedom, and also to be able to open up doors for other people when we get in these type of positions as well. I want to thank you on behalf of myself and the whole Vibe team. We want to thank you. We want to tell you that we love you. We behind you 100%. We really appreciate and value everything that you're giving to the world, yourself, your time, your energy. We really appreciate that. We're rooting for you, and we definitely can't wait to have you back on the show again, man, for real.
Thank you so much. I would love to come back. I'm sending you guys so much love. I wish you massive success as you continue to grow this platform. I pray that God would just touch everything that you touch, and he would add a little bit of super to your natural. And I pray that you would just continue to grow and allow God to shine his light on you as you go out and be an influence, that you would influence the people to do something so great that even you can't even imagine it yet. Shout out to all the people who are listening today. May God bless you in the works of your hands. It's your girl signing off. I love y'all. Live limitless.
Absolutely. It's the Vibe Show. We want to shout out everybody who pulled up and showed support, all of our listeners that's tuning in on the airwaves, man. We want to thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for welcoming our special guest, the very lovely Sierra Range, man. Y'all make sure y'all go and follow her on social media. Make sure y'all tap into her website. If you need any business inquiries or whatever, she has everything on her website. It's accessible. She's accessible. Again, shoot her a DM. We love y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all stay safe. Have a blessed rest of your night and a great rest of your week. It's the Vibe Show. I'm Kano the Don. Me and Sierra, we out of here. Love y'all, man. Peace.